Hey, good people of Diary of a Coach. Good morning. Good morning, my darlings of Diary of a Coach. How are you this morning? It's a Saturday morning in the beautiful city of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, in Nigeria, West Africa. How are you? How has been the lockdown? How have you been coping with the lockdown? How are you, your families, your loved ones? How have you been eating and sleeping and watching TV and binging on anything you can lay your hands on? It's been a very interesting week. This is episode 362 of Diary of a Coach. We're 3 episodes away. 3 episodes away from closure of the first series of Diary of a Coach. By 365, these live videos would continue via the Diary of a Coach mobile app. I want to once again thank everyone who has subscribed to my app. Thank you. This is a show of love, show of loyalty, show of acceptance, and you have demonstrated that you care about my brand. So thank you very much. Today's episode is titled, Don't Be a Blind Loyalist. Don't be a blind loyalist. Don't be a blind loyalist. This morning I woke up, a call woke me up, all the way from the United States, and we're talking, and I came out of sleep to concentrate on the conversation, and it bordered around, some risks that an employer puts their employees, and the employees, because they want to be loyal to their job, will take risks to the detriment of their lives because they want to be loyal. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning I want to let you know your reputation is a risk, your health is a risk, your mental health is a risk, your finance is a risk, your life is a risk, your future is a risk. There are so many risks that requires your common sense to protect you. Do not take steps that will jeopardize your reputation, jeopardize your character, jeopardize your health, jeopardize your mental health. Let me qualify that. Jeopardize your financial security, jeopardize your life. Do not, in the name of loyalty, put your family on the line. Put your life on the line because you want to prove that you are loyal. Loyalty does not mean foolishness. Loyalty does not mean being dull and being unreasonable. You must wear your common sense at every given point and understand the boundaries of loyalty. It is very important. These are some of the problems we are facing with our political landscape, because we have seen over and over that the political space consists of people who are loyal to the extent that is unreasonable. Imagine a young lad, even we who claim to be educated and schooled, on social media. Have you seen young people would sacrifice their family name, sacrifice their education, sacrifice their common sense just because they must defend a politician at all costs? As in, you see some debates on social media about politics, and you're asking yourself, is this some diabolic thing, or is this normal? The extent some people will go to defend some is the undefendable or undefendable actions. You will be asking yourself, like, how? How is this possible? How is this possible? Sometimes silence is so golden that betraying your silence completely takes away your reputation, completely takes away your character, or shows the flawed side of your character. So, do not be a blind loyalist to any human being. Do not be a blind loyalist to any human being. You must remember that there is a future in your own journey. I know that sometimes, we who are proteges to some people, we want to defend them, we want to show appreciation to them by standing by them in everything that they say and do. That is not appropriate. This is my personal opinion. I feel that a human being is fallible. That mentor, that role model, that senior, that whatever is fallible. He can fall. And because he can fall or she can fall, means that there are times when, even though you wish you could defend them, it is just wisdom to, It is just wisdom to, It is just wisdom to, Sometimes that is wisdom. Sometimes it is wisdom to let your mentor sort himself out. And it is wisdom to not come out abruptly and try to defend. In fact, sometimes it is wisdom to say, my mentor is fallible and I'm sure he will sort himself out. I stand with him through this period until we get it right. It's better than to say, no, he's not wrong. Who told you he's wrong? Why do you think he's wrong? Things are not done like that. Don't be a blind loyalist. Don't be given to unreasonable thinking because of your tummy. Some of us are blind loyalists because we have made up our mind that this person is the only reason why I'm alive and sustaining. So if anything goes wrong between me and this person, I suddenly stop existing. It is crazy. Because that person you think is the reason why you exist, by one fell swoop of God can take him out. What happens to you, Oga? Suddenly you realize that of all men, no man can keep you. No man can keep any other man. It is not designed that way. The only sustaining factor on earth is the power of the living God. Simple. So if your loyalty beclouds your sense of reasoning and beclouds your sense of discipline and beclouds your sense of judgment and beclouds your sense of independence, there is a fundamental problem. And for me, it is an unbelief in God. Because if you have a belief that God is supreme, you'll be able to contend with a point of reasoning and say, I can't support this thing. It's not right. Because there has to be a degree of independence in your reasoning. It's very important. Very, very important. Which is why many leaders also need to wake up. We have stereotyped. Eitayo says, yes, coach, fallibility is inherently human. Benio, inherently, it is part of us till forever. That's why I have issues with leaders. Leaders also need to remember that for everyone we stereotype to be loyal to us illogically, it tells of who we are. When a leader expects you to be loyal to them verbatim without any sense of reasoning, they have made you a robot. And such a leader has only projected their own insecurities too. That is what it is. Because a secure leader will let you know that, guy, me too, I'm just trying. Sometimes, if I tell some of the people that admire me and say things, I tell them that sometimes I just test some things. It's not as though I know many things. I tell many people, I believe that most of us, even we who give advice, most of us who even say we give professional advice, sometimes we actually attempt some things. We just give you counsel based on our estimation of events. It's not because we are so particularly certain. We estimate some events and then we advise. We estimate some events, then we advise. So it's not as though we are so cocksure that it's going to happen. So you need to remember that for every advice you are getting, it is not out of certainty, basically. I've said this in a particular episode of Diary of a Coach. Not every advice, in fact, every advice, I dare say, every advice and counsel you get is not out of certainty. It's based on estimation of events, either from volume of experience, worth of value of training, and different factors can bring us to a point of estimation of events that can give us some degree of assurance that what we're telling you will work. But assurance is not equal to certainty. Assurance is a degree of encouragement, a degree of optimism. Certainty is the degree of an absoluteness that it will happen. We are not absolute that what we're telling you will happen. As a business coach, I advise many businesses. In fact, since the corona started, my workload has really increased. I advise a lot of businesses. But guess what? I don't make it certain. I don't tell them that certainly when you do this, this will happen. I don't have that. I'm not a seer. I don't have that capacity. What I have is an assurance that to a large extent, based on precedences and antecedents and estimation of situations, some things would happen that I can assure, but it's not certain. So when a leader gives an impression of certainty, you are playing God, you are playing demigod, and you are being insecure. And this goes across to every leader in our landscape. Every leader in our landscape needs to remember that you are fallible, and it is inappropriate to create an impression that your followers must be loyal to you without thinking. That is wrong. That's why many leaders find it difficult to apologize. Many leaders find it difficult to change their ways. Many leaders find it difficult to be vulnerable. Many leaders find it difficult to allow their proteges be. You want to influence them. Yeah, influence is good. You want to manipulate them. You want to coerce them. You want to force them. You want to push them. You want to pull them down. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Ahmed TJ says, our consciences should be our cardinal reflecting points. Perfect. I like that. Your conscience should direct you. That's if you have a living conscience. You know, last week we were talking about, we said last week was the week of prayer. And one of the things we were praying for is, it was this week, the week of resourcefulness. I talked about the fact that there is a limit to what prayer can do. And I said, one of the things you can pray for is a living conscience. A conscience that is alive will save you. If your conscience is alive, you will realize that there are some loyalties you should jettison. There are some loyalties you should reappraise. There are some loyalties you should put a boundary to. You can't be unreasonably loyal. You can't be blindly loyal. You can't be loyal 100%. Even to yourself, you can't be loyal 100%. Do you know that? Eita, I love you, girl. She says, this episode is platinum, coach. Mungode. Nimana Gode. You can't be 100% loyal to yourself. You know why? Sometimes even you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself. There are some transactions, some situations, some relationships. You don't trust yourself enough that, if this thing happens, I don't think I can handle it. Oh. That is even you yourself. Oh. To yourself, you know that there are some things you can't handle that you are avoiding. There are some places you know that if I enter there, I will misbehave. You avoid them. There are some people you know that, if I get close to this person, something will happen. You avoid them. There are some people that you know that I can't stand this person. If I'm close to them, we will fight. And I will start doing things I don't like. I will say things I don't want. You avoid them. That is to yourself. Oh. Even to yourself, you know that there are boundaries to how much you trust yourself and some things you can handle. And then you now suspend your brain for somebody else. Does it make sense to you? Yusuf, check out. Yusuf, check out. When you look at yourself from outside yourself, do you not see that something is wrong somewhere? So if you cannot trust yourself 100%, why would you trust someone else 100% and be loyal to them to the point where they can never be wrong? Please don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. So this has been episode 362. This is our week of being resourceful. This is our week of creating solutions. This is the final week, the last week of Diary of a Coach on Facebook. Wow, I can't believe that we're 3 episodes to the end of this experience. It's so emotional for me. Thank God. We started from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100, 150, 120, 180, 200, 220, 280, 300. Now we're on 362. Don't forget, people, by the time we get to 365, Diary of a Coach on Facebook will stop. It will go onto our mobile app. Please, I want to make an appeal. If you have not subscribed to the app, please subscribe today. I want you to have an experience of the app. Everyone so far who has gone to the app has shared with me their loving experience, and I'm grateful. So I'd like to say that please register and join the new community in the app, and together we'll take it to another level. There are some interviews that are coming on via the app. There are some sessions that I have interviewed that are coming up on the app. There are resources coming up on the app. For annual subscribers, all my books will be available to you in the e-library. In fact, when you are an annual subscriber, you get an exclusive email that tells you this is an exclusive pass to the e-library. I like that mail. When I read it, I was like, I like this language. It says, Dear Samuel Obafemi, as a sign of gratitude, here is a link that grants you an exclusive pass to our e-library. I said, oh, Chimo, fantastic language. So I'd like you to have that experience. Register as an annual subscriber. The experience is different from every other subscriber level. But I want to say thank you that you chose to subscribe at all. That's what matters. That's what matters. And I really am grateful that you've considered my app to be subscribed to. One other thing I want to be grateful for is that, I have a target number of subscribers I must reach for us to change the experience of the app. So beyond subscribing, please tell someone to also subscribe. Tell someone, I think you should listen to my coach and subscribe to his app. If I've added any value to you in the course of this time you've been with me, please support me on this and subscribe to the app. It's a win-win because I promise you there's not going to be a dull moment. And from you to me, I'm going to always say thank you. So thank you for joining Diary of a Coach today. It's been episode 362. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for everything. I love you guys. Have a fantastic Saturday. I have a day loaded with meetings. And by the way, tonight at 4 p.m., if you are a life coach, if you are a therapist, if you are a psychologist, if you are a parent, if you are a school teacher, if you are a community leader, if you are a religious leader, whatever you do, at 4 p.m. today, we are hosting Professor Akindotun Merino. She's a professor and an advocate of mental health. She's based in California. We're hosting her to a free webinar, a 2-hour webinar on Subca platform. It is holding at 4 p.m. this evening, and I would like you to please subscribe and join. The webinar is free, and all we need from you is your name, your email address, and your phone number. Send it to 0807 361 0884, and we will reach you with the link to join the webinar. It's holding 4 p.m. today. So you don't have all the time to flounder. Make that decision now. I also want to introduce my protege and someone I've been coaching with all delight, Tega Omogo. She's a substance use guide. She has healed and bounced back from using substances, and she has become a major voice and a force to reckon with helping parents understand what are the tendencies that teenagers and children do when they do drugs and take substance. So Tega has been sharing some live videos in the couple of this week. And this Sunday, tomorrow, She's hosting a webinar at 5 p.m., I guess. No, 1 p.m., sorry. The webinar tomorrow holds at 1 p.m. Tega Omogo is hosting you to a webinar titled Bust Their Bubbles. Bust Their Bubbles. And the idea is he wants to expose to you patterns, secrets, symptoms that you must look out for if you want to be able to track and trace the behaviors of anyone that is into substance use and drugs. Her webinar is not free. It's for a token of 5,000 naira only. Token of 5,000 naira only. I, Sam Obafemi, on behalf of Diary of a Coach, I'm going to sponsor 2 slots. So if you want to get these 2 slots, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to Tega Omogo's handle and share it. Share the post on her page on Facebook. Her name is Tega Omogo. Let me spell it. T-E-G-A, Tega. Omogo is O-M-O-G-O-R. Go to her timeline on Facebook. Share her post about the training and get as many people to like your post. The 2 people who demonstrate they have the highest likes, and I want you to tag her when you share her post. Tag her when you share her post. Generate as many likes as possible. Thank you, Henry Spice, for writing her name. So when you share her post, generate as many likes as you can. The 2 people whose posts have the highest likes, I'm going to sponsor you to her webinar holding 1 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday. It is called Bust Their Bubbles. So it's all in your hands now. Go on now. Get her page. Share her post. Get as many likes as possible. The 2 people who have the highest likes, Tega will tell me who they are. I'm going to credit her account, and then you're going to be admitted to her webinar. Now, beyond this, please tell someone who needs to tell someone who needs to tell someone that we need to save our children from drugs and substance use. So this is a webinar I completely endorse because she has an experience. She's come out of a terrible wild life of substance use, and she tells you from direct information. She has access to so many teenagers who tell her secrets. So she has relevant information, current information, and she is fully resourceful. By the way, she's a pastor. So she has a godly feel. She comes from the godly side. She also comes from the social side. She also comes from the psychological side. So you have it fully rounded. And I endorse this seminar, this webinar. So go on now and do it, and you will not regret it. So thank you for being on Diary of a Coach. Love you guys so much. Have a fantastic day. Enjoy your Saturday, and God bless you. Bye.